What's going on, everybody? Kyle here from Soft Wash TV, and today we're talking about something that's not too glamorized. A lot of people don't talk about it at all, but that is pressure washing and soft washing safety. So we're going to be talking about what types of items you want to have in your shop and what type of items you definitely want to have on your truck. So other people have made some posts recently about safety. I wanted to jump on the train and push that because safety is definitely paramount. I want everybody to come home the same way they went to the job site. So we'll talk about what type of items I use and go into a little bit of depth about them. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and definitely hit that notification bell and thumbs up. Let's keep this channel growing. This is Soft Wash TV. Let's jump right into it. All right, everybody. Item number one is going to be an adjustable hard hat. Now, this isn't an item that you're going to be wearing every single day. You don't have to wear this whenever you're out just washing a customer's driveway or house, but on those larger jobs, you're probably going to have a scissor lift or a boom lift, and there's a lot of overhead obstructions that could get you injured. So something like this is definitely going to keep you safe. Now, remain cognizant when you're on a lift. Be aware of your surroundings, but it does pay to have something like this. I prefer to have one with a brim or a visor right here. It helps keep the sun off of your neck and your ears and your nose and stuff like that. So get yourself a hard hat. One size fits all. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you're renting a boom lift or a scissor lift from one of these large companies like United Rentals or Sunbelt Rentals, it's not going to include the number 2 item I want to talk about, which is your safety harness. So ensure that you have a safety harness. That way you don't go over a ledge or drive the lift off of a curb and then you get ejected from the bucket. You want to make sure that you have a harness. It's the correct size, and you also want to implement an inspection process, especially if you have employees. So this is a practice that a company I used to work for used. They use different colored ties on the ring back here. So if it has an orange ring and someone asks me, hey, say you have an incident, and someone's like, when was the last time your safety equipment was inspected? I could be like, orange tie, boom, let me look in the log. This was inspected 40 days ago. So implement something like that. Also, in addition to the actual harness itself, make sure that you have different lanyards right here. So if you have the pressure washing gun, like the wand and then the hose that's attached to it, that could definitely hurt somebody if you drop it. So whenever we're in the lift, we have a way that we anchor the gun to the bucket. That way, if we were to drop it, it wouldn't fall. And then we tie off any other tools that we might be using, like maybe a squeegee for some glass, or maybe we have a brush that we're using to get in a corner and get some like a dirt dauber off. That's a real pain in the butt. We'll lanyard those things off. That way we don't drop it and hit somebody down below. You should have that area clear. You should have a ground guide, but it's just one additional safety step. Last thing in regards to the harness, make sure you have a way to attach yourself to the actual bucket itself. So this hook right here is going to hook to the D-ring on the back of your harness. And we have 2 points of contact on every bucket, so we'll hook these rings to the 2 different anchor points inside the bucket. So get yourself some fall prevention equipment. All right, item number 3 is safety cones. So we're not just concerned with our safety, we're also concerned with the safety of the public or our customers. So definitely have a couple different size cones that you use on your truck for different applications. We use these cones all the time. So maybe we're in a neighborhood and we pull up to a house curbside and we're going to be pulling our water feed line and our high pressure hose or our soft wash hose to the property. A lot of times that hose gets pulled over a sidewalk. So the last thing you want is some kid coming down the sidewalk on a bicycle or somebody running down the sidewalk or some kids that just got off of school tripping up on your hoses and then falling on their face. So definitely put cones before and after your hoses. If you're on a commercial job site, maybe you're doing a drive-through or something like that at night, you definitely want to cone off the entrances and exits to the parking lot or maybe the drive-through. That way you could avoid and mitigate vehicle traffic or personnel traffic and stuff like that. We put these cones everywhere on a lot of our job sites. That way, not just for tripping hazards, but also chemical overspray. So if we're up on a 2-story building, 3-story building, we'll put cones way out yonder. That way we know that the chemical overspray isn't going to get on vehicles or people that are in the area and stuff like that. So can't say enough about cones. Also, These are job site cones right here. Make sure, I got some in the cab of my truck, but make sure you have the reflective Department of Transportation compliant cones. Maybe if you have a breakdown on the side of the road, you want to have a certain type cone for that. That way you don't get in trouble. All right. Next up is footwear. A lot of people in the industry wear these deck boots. Lots of different manufacturers and options and choices. You have Huck, Extra Tough. This is a boot that I transitioned to several weeks ago, and I'm very happy with it. Very comfortable boot right here by Sperry. It's called the Cutwater Deck Boot. It's so important to have a waterproof boot. That way you can keep your feet dry during the day. I also keep a couple extra pair of wool socks on the truck. And if you're doing a lot of surface cleaner, you definitely want a boot that's a little bit higher than this, because sometimes you can still get your feet wet with a short boot like this. But get some proper footwear. Next up is eye protection or eye pro. So make sure that you have a pair of clear eye pro for nighttime washing and your favorite pair of sunglasses. Make sure that they're ANSI rated, especially your employees. If they're wearing glasses, don't allow them to just wear anything. Make sure all of your eye protection is ANSI rated. I like buying them in bulk. You can get them right off of Amazon. Like this is a box of 12 right here, and I keep a couple boxes in the shop and at least a box of clear eye pro on the wash truck. In addition to the glasses, which can mitigate about 99% of all eye injuries, but sometimes you still get hit with a piece of gravel or dirt, get it in your eye, or maybe you get a chemical splash up in your eye. We use acids and sodium hypochlorite. If you have a shop, make sure that you have an eye wash station, especially if you have employees, but also keep an eye wash kit on your truck. So you could just cup it right over the eye, and then you can flush your eye out if you have a piece of dirt or gravel or something like that. And also don't forget your eye wash solution. So must have. All right, this is one of my favorites here, nitrile gloves. This is definitely a must have. We deal with chemicals on a daily basis, and if you've ever washed without gloves, you can definitely feel how dry your hands are at the end of the day, because your skin is an organ. Let's face it, your skin is the biggest organ on your body, and if you're not using gloves on a daily basis, you're just allowing chemicals to absorb into your skin, to absorb into your body. So I like to have the thicker nitrile gloves. This is 8 mil. I've used all types of nitrile gloves, and this is hands down the best one. This is by Mechanics, and this is their 8 mil Super Duty nitrile gloves. These things rarely rip on me, and they're also textured for grip because our hands are always wet. So this is an excellent glove right here. Keep those chemicals off of your skin. Next up, and this goes without saying, is a first aid kit. So this is going to have all types of bandages and ointments and stuff like that, just for minor stuff. Maybe someone gets a cut. That happens all the time. You definitely want to have a first aid kit in your shop, and definitely have a first aid kit on your truck that's out there in the field. I'll give you guys a pro tip in regards to your first aid kit. Definitely invest a little bit more money. This is a really cheap first aid kit. I have a more expensive one inside the truck behind the seat that has a little bit more options. But one time my dad was helping me. Here's some OE for you. One time my dad was helping me out of state on one of my larger wash contracts, and we had just got done taking a break, and we were going to refill up. We had some extra gas cans. We were refilling up our fuel cell on the truck, and sure enough, my dad's arm hit the muffler on the IGX 800 and burned his forearm up real bad. So we didn't even have some sort of like burn cream or like a burn ointment or something like that. So whenever you're looking for a first aid kit, pro tip, make sure that it has that burn cream, and if it doesn't, you could just get that extra on Amazon or something like that. Next up, must-have item for your shop and your truck is a fire extinguisher. So anytime that you deal with machinery or especially electrical, there's always the potential for a fire. You don't want to get caught with your pants at your ankles, so make sure you have a fire extinguisher to put out their fire. And in addition to that, make sure that you have the correct type of fire extinguisher. If there's a firefighter in the chat, talk about the different type of fires for me and the different ratings, but make sure it's rated for whatever fires you might encounter. And then also make sure that you implement some sort of inspection process, and then also swapping these fire extinguishers out whenever they're due. All right, next up, and I don't know what the name of this is, we'll just call it a medical alert card. There's all types of things that are kind of similar to this. Wristbands, I've seen necklaces, but I like to have these cards right here that you could put in a lanyard necklace, or you could put inside your wallet. And basically, a lot of guys are out there washing, and they're kind of like me in the same boat, where you're out there washing most days by yourself. So if you were to fall out from heat exhaustion, or maybe you have an allergic reaction to something, or worst case, maybe you fall off a ladder or something like that and you're laid out, EMS or the homeowner or whoever could find this on you and potentially see who your emergency contact is, or even better, see what type of medications you're allergic to, or maybe if you have a heart condition, you could put all of your information on a card like this. So must have. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost done. You definitely want to have a respirator on your truck. If you're washing roofs or you're washing your pre and post treating driveways, especially in hot weather, you could see that whenever you spray that liquid, that chemical on the roof or a driveway, it off gases very quickly and it turns from a liquid to a gas. And you do not want to be breathing this stuff in, especially if you're working at heights on a roof or something. The last thing you want is to fall off and kill yourself. So get yourself a respirator. Make sure that it's rated for the fumes that we're going to be coming in contact with. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Whenever you're done for the day, make sure you put it in a bag, like a Ziploc bag like this. I put it in a new bag every time. I've worked with a lot of people and I see them take that respirator off and they just throw it in the toolbox with a bunch of spray bottles and other chemicals. You want to keep it clean. You want to change out your filters on a frequent basis. Earlier in the video, we talked about how your skin is an organ and how you have to take care of your skin. That's not just from chemical exposure. It's also from UV exposure. So make sure you have some sunblock on your rig. I also keep the chapstick that has sunblock in it. That way your lips don't get fried during the day. And also sun prevention and stuff like that. Make sure you have, I like to have a straw hat on the wash truck, or at the least, just a ball cap right here. All right, last item is Ear Pro. On my wash truck, it's very cheap, everybody. You could go right on Amazon and get a large bucket of those expandable ear protection plugs. They work very well. I also like these Apple EarPods because I listen to a lot of podcasts or audiobooks or other YouTube videos, like listening to that type of content whenever I'm out there washing. And these newer Apple ones have noise cancellation, so they serve as ear protection too. So make sure you have something, that way you're protecting your eardrums. If you guys enjoyed the video, everybody, please hook a brother up. Hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. It really helps me out, helps me grow, and it will keep you in the loop anytime we drop new content. This is Soft Wash TV. We bring you all types of videos about pressure washing and soft washing, and we will see you guys later. As always, I hope you're out there killing it. Stay safe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.